So let's get started. The name of this workshop is "What is a resource?" So, we need to start there. And when we're talking about resources, especially in politics, we're usually talking about money, we're talking about people, and we're talking about infrastructure and systems. And in mainstream politics, resources and primarily mean money. The major parties have a lot of it. The presidential election alone, the two of them combined for almost $2 billion. Super PACs, party donations, normal PACs, soft money, dark money. The entire electoral system is set up around, controlling and funneling money. And if you've been following us lately, if you've been following Howie's talking points in his live stream and everything, you'll know that HR1, S1, I think it's the We the People Act, while it contains a lot of really, really good voter rights stuff, much needed reforms in many ways, its campaign finance section is going to make it even easier to buy elections. It's going to dump huge amounts, massive amounts of private money private donations into our election system, even more so now. One example is presently political parties can give $5,000 to a presidential candidate. HR1 is going to let them give $100 million. That's a 20,000 time increase. And while presidential candidates have in 2016 in 2020 was a $2,800 cap for individual donations during the primary, and then $2,800 again during the general. So the most you can donate is a little less than $6,000. Political parties can take up to $100,000 from a donor every year. So a donor could bank $400,000 into the political parties over the course of an election cycle, and then that can all be dumped in. So, we're dealing in a system that really prioritizes money. And the problem as Greens, the problem as independent socialists, is we don't tend to have much, right? We don't take corporate donations. We're grassroots funded. We self-limit in some ways, but the reality is, and the uncontroversial reality is, that we don't have the money to compete. So when we're talking about resources, we need to, money is not really at present, on the table as a major resource. So the people and the systems become essential, and the systems are essential for making the people work effectively, right? And then the Green Party has tried the money thing. States, locals, the National Party will give modest sums of money to candidates, but the reality is that money's a drop in the bucket compared to what we need, what we're competing with. So we really have to rethink about what we're doing, and we need to think about it in terms of systems, in my point of view, because in addition to the lack of money, Green parties and other independent groups and other independent socialist parties tend to be ran by a small number of overworked volunteers, right? We talk about grassroots, but the reality is much of the work falls on a small number of people, and those people are very much overburdened and burn out. And it means that the capacity of the work that we have to do is beyond the resource that we have, right? So we have to become way more efficient. We have to be hyper aware of how overstretched our volunteers are, right? And how much time things are taking. And so how that dynamic works out is overworked people, overworked super volunteers burn out, but they never taught anyone else how to do their job, right? So now no one can do the job, and we're kind of screwed. So we've got part of this, part of systems is we need to make them, they make us more efficient, and we need to make sure that multiple people in the chain of organizing can do the work, so that it's not all on one person. And when one person breaks, when one person has to step away for a second, it doesn't all come crashing down. And this isn't just the Greens. Independent organizations across the country have to break this cycle that just keeps happening. We have to be more proactive about training and developing, the next leaders. So